Hi guys, Mel the Train Tutor here again with another sort of tutorial for you. And in this tutorial we're looking at Foamboard again, and we're looking at interior design and building in depth, design in depth. Okay, and I'll explain these basic processes for you. So let's go for design in depth first. Now when we normally build our Foamboard buildings, okay, they're typical box structures. And what I mean by that is very much like this room. Okay, no real detail on the inside, and because of that, it looks very stark. Okay, and when we paint it, you'll get paint splodges, and if you try and dry brush, you'll get tracks because there's very little texture to work with. Now, if you remember in the last video or the video before that, when we looked at doing basic joins and how to put floors in and that sort of stuff, what we did is we added these floor supports here. Yeah, and by doing that, what we basically did is we broke the design up even further. Okay, and what this does is it takes that blank wall to a more textured, something with contours, something that we can brush against and get dirt in the corners and shadow in. Yeah, which is something that we can't do with this piece. And obviously these were put in just to support the floor. Okay, and that's sort of a functional addition, but it's also a design addition. And you can take this a step further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing this round and very quickly show you this side. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll take this out. Yeah, and as you can see, what I've done there is I've stepped it up a lot more and I've broken up the panels. And this has been done by adding windowsills. Okay, it's been done by adding skirting boards, door frames, a light there. Okay, and these things are really simple. Okay, and the concept now, what I've done is by adding lots of little bits, I've added more and more texture. I've broken up those blank panels. Okay, and it doesn't have to be really detailed. It just has to break up, the blank panels. You don't have to craft loads of controls on these devices, or you're right there, Wills. My little daughter is poorly today. Which one do you want, darling?
Pink.
Pink? How's your drawing coming?
Great.
Excellent. Say hi to the people.
Hi.
Oh, don't spill it, don't spill it, don't spill it. There you go. Remember to wash your brush out before you use it. Love you. Go on. Right, guys, so where was I? Right, yeah, you don't have to be really detailed with these sort of things, okay? Because at the end of the day, they're only going to be catching people's eyes on terrain. Yeah, it just needs to be there enough to sort of add to that little bit of pop. And I'll show you very quickly what I did with these sort of things. But before I do, yeah, the last bit about design in depth, okay, is take a look at the front of this. Yeah, and as you can see here, yeah, I've already started to sort of put the front facade onto the building. Now, compared to the other side, yeah, this one, you can see quite clearly that, it's a lot more interesting. Obviously it's still a work in progress, and I'll be, you'll see this more later on, guys, but it's a lot more interesting. Yeah, and when it comes to texturing it, when it comes to painting it, it's going to give me a lot more opportunity than just a blank wall, just for the sake of getting a bit of balsa wood, put it down, glue it, cut it, a couple of side pieces in, hey presto, a far more interesting building. So going on to the actual smaller detail, well, let's actually take a quick look at that. Okay, there's a few things that I've done. I have added skirting boards. So if I spin this round like that, you can see that corner. Okay, I'm going to work over myself, but basically all it's a matter of is coming up, measuring where they go, quick cut, quick glue, and slide it into position. And straight away, you're adding detail on there. Very simply, very, very simply. Okay, now the other thing, a couple of other little details is if I spin this round, you can see these pieces here in these pipes. Okay, and they literally are either bits of plastic rod or guitar wire, and it is literally, measure it up, cut it, put it in place. You'll notice that I've got some wiring, yeah, brass wiring that sort of runs from these panels. Okay, and what this is quite simply, it's a paper clip. Yeah, and if I get my clippers, just to quickly show you, yeah, I'll grab my clippers there. Hey, there we go, and quickly clip there. In fact, I'll do it that way because it'll be easier to twist. And this is just a rough ready, just to show you what you can do. Well, I could if that hadn't flown off, but I've got this one. Hey, yeah, and it literally is just a matter of, let me pull this around so you can see it. You know, putting these things, gluing them down, putting them in, and that's all it is. And once they're painted over, they'll look like piping, they'll look like wiring. A couple of other things that I wanted to mention was this light. Okay, so if I let me bring it in, let me give you a close-up of that. Okay, so, and then I'll bring this just a bit closer, guys. Yeah, so that light there. Yeah. Okay, and I think that's slightly out of focus, so 2 seconds. There we go. And as you can see, this light here, okay, it's just a simple matter of a bit of balsa wood, a bit of a sprue, yeah, and 2 bits of paper clip bent round the sprue. Yeah, and then once it's painted up, you know, that'll look like a light in a room. Okay, and it's, you know, it's just the little details. Another little detail for you to take a nose at is this one here. Let me bring it down so you can see it properly. Okay, this one here, this girder bar, and all this is a matter of getting a piece of guitar wire and just sliding it in, gluing it, yeah, and then covering it with filler. And the reason I cover these things with filler is that it makes them so much harder and more resistant to damage, and it disguises this, what you call it, foam. Yeah, so if you listen to this, let me, oh, that's right. Hear that? Yeah, so this side is going to be far more resistant to damage, and it's going to look better, to be perfectly honest, once it's painted off. I'll do this with all my exposed, what you call it, bits of foam. Let me bring the camera up for a second. Yeah. What else? So we've talked about those, we've talked about the lights, the piping, the little panels. Oh yeah, there you are. Let's have a look at these. Okay, very quickly go down again, sorry guys. Listen, when you comment on this, guys, let me know what you think about me moving the camera and all that sort of stuff. You know, is it bugging you, or, you know, don't you mind it? So these two, what you call it, these two windowsills. Yeah, dead simple. The simplest way of doing a windowsill is quite simply just cut out the width. What's that, baby? Well, I'm using balsa wood. She's doing anything, and it'd be covered with glitter. So what you've got here is just a bit of balsa wood, guys. Yeah, and it's cut to the width of the window, and you just sort of push it in, slide it down, and it's as simple as that. Now what I like to do is sort of extend it. So what I do is I cut notches out of them. Yeah, and this way I can sort of get the window frame to extend past the actual edges, the window ledge, to extend past the edges of the window, which just gives me that little bit more detail. You know, right, there you go. Yeah, compared to this one. So we've talked about windows, we've talked about, I think that about covers it. I mean, you can see on this panel what I've done is very quickly cut those balsa wood bits off in the watchlet to go with my sort of damage. Yeah, and it's just a matter of literally just getting your craft knife in, yeah, and then just breaking bits out like that. Yeah, it's not hard. Balsa wood is dead easy to work with, and because it's available in so many different sort of thin sizes and strips, you know, it's great for adding this detail. So let me pull this up, guys, give you a quick view of it. It's coming along nicely. I think after this, the next one is hiding corners, so I'll show you that in the next video. And then after that, I think we'll be looking at rubble and adding extra little touches. So guys, that was sort of design in depth and breaking up these shadows, and breaking up these plain bits and giving you more textured bits, and a more interesting structure, and how to easily do some very simple interior detail. I really hope you've liked it. I hope you take something away from this. As always, if you like what you see, then click the like button. If you're new to the channel and you're interested in Terrain, click the subscribe link that's going to come up somewhere around here, or you can find it. I'm sure you can find it. In the meantime, any comments, let me know what you think of the moving the camera around and that sort of stuff, and the quality of the video.
I already said that, Dad.
Yeah, I've already said that, but I'm just reminding you. Thank you, darling. So let me know what you think. Do you want to say come say goodbye? Right, I've got a poorly girl to look after, so come here, darling. Let's go up. There we are.
Bye.
Now look at the camera. Bye. See you later, lads. All the best. Ta-ra.